Oi oi. Look at these conditions. Absolutely mega. I'm in Leeuwen Island, which is helping me stay relatively dry. Yeah, bonkers conditions. I'm sure there's others on the bank at the moment that's thinking the same. So a bit of news. Let's flick this round a minute. It's a pain in the ass, really. I can't see what you can see. So, got in here last night. Not really in the area I wanted to be in. However, I've had fish out of here in the past. And I fucking lost one last night. Fucking gutted, man. Again, midnight, same as last week. It was all good. Managed to get it free. The other rods out of a weed bed, and it was proper foggy. Couldn't see nothing. Couldn't see absolutely nothing. You know, stick your head torch on. Same as when you're driving a car. It just dazzles you, doesn't it? Anyway, 2 rod lengths out. Fucking hook pulled. I was like, oh. Yeah, check the rig. Hook point's fine. Yeah. What can I say? Just unlucky. Very unlucky. So yeah, at the moment the fish are winning. Yeah, I had a drop of sleep after that, really. Half expecting it to go off again, sort of early hours, but nothing. So, right, look at my mug. It's just banging, absolutely banging. Redone the rods. Well, redone the rod that went off this morning because I'm fishing all three quite tight, actually, to be honest. I say tight, sort of rod length apart, I suppose, half a rod length, but. Obviously I'm boiling fishing, bit of ground bait, so I've redone that this morning because I knew this was coming in and they got it right. So yeah, fingers crossed for a daytime bite would be nice, although everything at the moment seems to be at night activity, you know. It's just one of them things at that time of year they just switch to night mode all of a sudden, you know. So yeah, but it looks absolutely awesome, these conditions. Mate, the opposite's getting battered by tufties. Can't actually pick them up. Where are they? There they are. Bless him, yeah. He had a bit of a nightmare yesterday. It was funny, really, because I was setting up and he started spawning the second cast. Crack. Unlucky, mate. So it ain't just me it happens to. So yeah, I thought I'd think ahead of a game this morning. Like I said, get some bait out there before this rain comes in. I'm supposed to set in all day once it does get here. So yeah, matey done the same over there. Reckon he was sheeping me up a little bit. Maybe, but now I'm sure other people are thinking, right, weather's coming, get organised, you know what I mean? So yeah, not really much else to say, to be honest. A few bleeps and blobs last night on the old alarms. What else? I had the cob going, done myself lasagna and chips, which was banging. Seriously, them things are just worth the weight in gold, especially when this weather starts getting shit. If I had it going now, see, it wouldn't matter because it's got a lid on it. Obviously your food ain't going to spoil and it carry on cooking. So fucking cormorants are here already and there's quite a few of them on. Anyway, as yet no fish content, but I've had another bite on my own, mates. So yeah, happy days. I'll update this as and when. Fuck up. I'll tell you what, it ain't as light as what this phone's telling you it is, but it's pretty mint. So there's my view. I should probably sleep quite well tonight with a couple of those bad boys. Check this out. Fucking shadow on it. Meat Feast pizza with garlic bread. Happy days. And a bleep. Go ahead, rip off. Not yet, I want pizza first. So yeah. I know you lot think I'm mental, but stand the shadow of foam. Trust me, it's not as light as that, but that looks epic, doesn't it? Come on, the fish. Need 'em. 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 Get on Clarky's triple S squid, right, yeah. Pucker. Pucker. Well, you can't really see a lot, but it's all that in the moment, isn't it? Fucking hell. We got one. Yeah, woke up at 4:04 and the wind and the rain was absolutely belting in. Yeah, belting in front of my bivvy, and I had like a mozzie mesh open. Fucking bed shell was soaked. Oh, great. So fish is a bit lively. I've got him staked out in my net at the moment. Just waiting for light. It's just coming up 7 o'clock. All the owls don't think so. So you know, it's all gone mental. Yeah, you can probably hear the owls in the background. Kettle's just coming to the boil. I'm buzzing, man. I lost one, like I said, last night, or the night before. Gutted. I'll tell you what, there's definitely something in infrared that fish don't like. He's been quite well behaved up to now. So we've got a 27.5 mirror. Get in. Right, I'm not sure how he's going to behave, but he can but try. Yeah, about 4:30, ripped off. God, look at you, man. Fucking hell, what a stunner. What a stunner. I reckon you're going to beat the shit out of me, aren't you? He's been in there a little while. Just let it get light, really. Because obviously it's nice to get daylight pictures, and it wasn't that long, so lucky really. Weeded me up, managed to get it moving, and I could see it out the back of the weed. Usual scenario, weed ran on top of the leader. It's like, fuck's sake. But luckily I got a net under him, so happy days. Let's see if I can get him up. Come on, let's have a look here. You are proper up front, aren't you? Oh, I know you don't like it. Cool. I'd have said all day you were 30 when you went in there. Look at that. Hey? Fucking awesome. You banger. You gonna let me spin you around? Actually, tell you what, I'll get you up again. Just quickly. Mate, you're stunning. Look at you. Come on. See? Yeah, I mean, Fletch the bailiff has just done 4 nights for a blank. So you can't tell me that they're not on the boy. Yeah. What can I say? Absolutely immaculate. Come on in, mate. Let's get you up and get you back. You are fucking stunning. Sorry about the language, but and I lost one as well. So it would have been the same as last week. I had one, lost one. Mate, you are banging. Why is that video started again? I don't know if it has or not. Shoot it aside again because for whatever reason I stopped recording. Hopefully it'll be even meant to do it. Just get you back, mate, to be fair. Quick wash down. Got on both sides because you're purring, aren't you? Come on, mate. Just another couple of seconds, and you can go. Not happy, are you? Not happy. Please. There you go, there's the other side. Absolutely mint. Let's get you back. Oi, bagged another one. I'll upload the photos and that later. To be fair, I was lucky with the photos. Schoolboy error, so I've got a little handheld key fob for my camera on my phone, Bluetooth. Anyway, it's in my pocket under my waders, and I ain't noticed till afterwards. But every time I've gone like that with the fish up onto my knees, I've clicked it, so I've got loads of stop-start video. But fortunately, I've got some half decent footage. It pissed off really. I was like fucking joking, because it's a banging fish as well. So yeah, happy days. What can I say? The boys worked again. The tactics are working again. Just, you know, nothing complicated really. I think just a decent fish meal bottom bait. I am using ground bait, which has got plenty of attractors and that in it, but you know, just to draw them in. It's not giving them any food. So yeah, I'd probably put about 1.5 kilos of boilie out, spread over the 3 rods, you know, spread out nicely so they've got to move, pick it up. Yeah, job done. I don't think anybody else has caught. Fletch the bailiff, I don't know if I've said this in a previous blog, or maybe. But yeah, he's just done 4 nights in blank, so you know, happy days. Obviously I'm in another swim from what I was last week, not in the swim I wanted to be in, but same result. Had one, lost one. Unfortunately I lost one, but yeah, same as last week. Had one, lost one, but it's the weed is causing me problems with the losing of the fish. The trouble is I'm using the heli-safe setup, and those that know that, you know, you only got to touch weed on the way back in and it'll dump the lead. So and at the moment weed's rife, so it's kind of happy medium. So I've had to put a bead above the heli-safe just so it's cushioned, so it doesn't eject the lead so easy. And now it's gone the other way, it just doesn't eject the lead, so it's like fucking hell. So yeah, I'm going to try the red springs, which are supposed to be a little bit tougher. Yeah, so I'll just try them next time. See if that works next time I have a fish, you know. It's all trial and error really. I just prefer the old helicopter setup over silty areas, you know. And the bites you get are identical, always the same. Couple of bleeps, which is obviously they've done that, and then it just melts. But yeah, yeah, what can I say? Chuffed to fuck. Everything's minging. I stink, but I don't care because I've had another one. Bucker.
Oi oi, I thought I'd do a little vlog entry whilst I'm driving. Just come out of the far end of Corsham. Window up might be able to hear me then. Not the best camera footage, steering wheel and all that way, but it is what it is. So yeah, on the way at Whistley, it's Thursday morning, so my usual Thursday, Friday, option of a Saturday if yeah, if I think it needs it, or conditions are looking good, etc. So yeah, I think I've formulated a bit of a plan in my mind really. Obviously I'm happy with my bait and stuff. I don't know what the fuck this traffic jam is all about. It's got to be traffic lights. Not good. You know, I hate getting stuck in traffic on the way fishing, as I'm sure most of us do. Yeah, anyway, where was I at? Yeah, I think I've formulated a bit of a plan. So basically the place I'm fishing at the moment, Whistley Mill, I've done well on there when I first started on Reading Ticket. I don't know what years it was now, probably I can't think now, 2015, 2016, something like that onwards. Yeah, I had more than enough decent fish out there to warrant going back. yeah, so, but I was sort of mindful at the time because I'd done so many years at the water park on the large lake, and before I knew it, it was like, I've been on it 10 years, do you know what I mean, on one lake, pretty much. So yeah, I was like, you know what, I just want to bounce around a bit, and that's the sort of mindset I've had really at Reading Waters. I mean, you're spoilt. You know, you got Englefield, you got Pinge, you got Farnham, Flint, obviously Whistley, which is coming on like big time now. Yeah, traffic lights, what might be. Yeah, so the plan is I'm going to stay up on Whistley until the weather gets shit or it stops fishing. Yeah, if they shut up shop, then I've got another plan, but I'll get on to that. So yeah, Whistley, it's done, I believe it's done 4 different 40s. I mean, when I started on there, back say 2015, 2016, it ain't even done a 40. So, but I'm not surprised that it has, because I see, you know, when I was on those, I see sort of fish easy in the mid 30 to high 30 bracket, you know. So, and it's possible there's more than that come out, because you know, not everybody shares their information with bailiffs and stuff. And I know Fletch out there quite well, bailiff on Whistley, and he said to me, done a 39 last weekend, you know, and another unknown big one, you know what I mean. So that's a 40, isn't it, this year, this winter. So the plan is stay on there until it gets, you know, until it dries up, basically. Try and get a PB mirror, because I had a £40 mirror. £40 commons, there ain't none in there that we know of. I mean, it's possible, you never know. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm going to stay on there and try and get a PB mirror. Yeah, and then after that, once it gets proper cold and winter's here and all the rest of it, I mean, I'm hoping it'll stay mild, but you never know. I'm going to have a little go on Engie, on Englefield Lagoon. Obviously you've got the baby black in there and a number of other proper stunning, like, sought after fish, you know. It's, I don't know if any of you guys have seen it, but Jamie Cook, who's, I think he's chief exec, maybe, don't know, of Angling Trust. So yeah, and he cuts teeth out there, and he's done a little blog on what do they call it, the Think and Tackle podcast, I think it's called. Yeah, so, you know, I mean, I've been lucky enough to be out there since 2015, 2016, like I said earlier, but unfortunately it was already getting busy by then, you know. And those that listen to his podcast, sorry, will know that when he was fishing it, sort of early 2000s, he was dead, you know. He was getting on Flint. There's like 6 people on it the weekend. I mean, now you can triple that easy. But it's not surprising, really. I mean, you know, all their waters have got some banging fish in. At least 3 have got, go on mate, go for it, yeah. Bollocks to your red lights. At least 3 of them have got, I think there's 3, maybe 4, have got 50-pounders in, you know. Flint, 2 50-pound commons, bonkers, on a club water, you know. Pinchwood's done a 48 allegedly. It's the one that I had, the one fish I wanted out of Pinch, really. Although the brute was still in there when I started fishing it, and but he was on his way out. I mean, he kept getting caught. You know, very historic fish, but yeah, he was getting old. He was on his way out, and I think his last capture he done like 42 pounds. I mean, he'd been up sort of as high as 54, I think 55. So yeah, you know, old fish on his way out. Unfortunately, I never had the pleasure, but I did have the big floppy tail. So yeah, I mean, you know, that was a fish I spotted up there when we first started wrecking the place, really. Pinge was the first water that we walked around. That would have been, I can't remember if it was 2015 or 16, to be honest, but that would have been like the spring, so before the ticket started, which used to be in June. I think it still is June, actually. They do June till June. So yeah, basically I went out there with Steve. I think it would have been early May, proper hot day, and there's like the workings bank where the old gravel yard is, and there's a bay out there. And I remember saying to Steve distinctly, I thought, I bet they're up there, because the sun was just beating in this corner. You know, no wind, it was just, yeah, proper nice spring day, hot, like, you know. And anyway, sure enough, there was a big group of fish, and like we didn't know what we were looking at. Yeah, started chatting to a guy, now known as John Bartley, who told us he was a bailiff, stroke pulling fucker. But that's a different story. Fair play to him. I understand why he done it now. Yeah, just pointed out all the fish basically. So you had the brute there, obviously the floppy tail, which turns out as an old fish. I mean, I was under the impression it was a new fish that had been stocked out of Junction 12, but apparently not. Apparently it's got quite a bit of pedigree behind it. So I was chuffed. I mean, you know, that was a fish I wanted just because it had a massive plate of scales on it. Yeah, and I remember saying to Steve, I want that fish. Fifth night, I think it was the fifth night, I'd moved like 3 times that day to get into the Palace Bay. I had at 10:30 that night. It was just bonkers, you know. I was just like, what? You know, it just goes to show sometimes if your name's on it, it's on it. So yeah, and then I followed that up with one of the another original snub nose common, just over 30. Then I found whistley. Yeah, so I went up there and done a bit, numerous 20s. I think I had a 30 up there the first night I fished it. I think it was a busy bank holiday weekend, may have been, I can't remember, but you know, countless 20s up there, and you know, some real good sessions, you know, multiple fish sessions. So I kind of got sidetracked, you know. It was like, I'm liking this, catching fish. Why wouldn't you, you know? I haven't got targets and such. It's just like I've drawn the water, so yeah, I like to catch that fish. If you have happens, that happens. It done. A bit like the large day when I was on there, I really wanted to catch that crop. Just so I've seen it out so many times on the bloody bank, you know. But unfortunately, you know, always the bridesmaid. But I pretty much had the other ones I wanted, other than the brothers. So it's only really 3 fish out there I didn't have. And obviously I ended that nicely on a 41 common. And that was that was my last fish from there actually. So yeah. So basically, like I said, the plan is I'm going to try my hardest up whistley until it shuts that shot. It'd be nice to have one of them big, there's some proper nice mirrors in there as well. Quite a few leanies in there as well. I found out recently, I knew they were in there, but I didn't realise how many was in there. So it's only a matter of time before that place starts getting rammed, you know, when it's doing like mid 40s, 50 pounders, which it's going to do. It's only a matter of time. So yeah. Kick the ass out of that. Then I'm going to have a little go on Engie, just because why wouldn't you? I mean, it's a shallow pit. It's even shallower now because the water levels are down because of the weather we had in the summer. Yeah, and I just think shallow pit, alright, there's not a lot of fish in there, but you know, you get them winter mild periods, or if it stays mild, I think it'll fish well. Well, I say fish well, I mean, I think it'll still do bites. I don't think it'll shut up short. I don't think a pit like that, you know, it's like 50 acres, I think, something like that. Shallow, you know, very much governed by the wind. They love an easterly. It's rude not to, I think, because the plan next year, if all goes to plan now, is to I'm thinking about fishing spinnaker. Well, not thinking about, I definitely want to fish it. Spinnaker, which is on the Christchurch ticket. Yeah, so to complete the other end of the country, not completely, but so basically next to Ringwood, you got Rockford and all that next door. So I'm thinking, do you know what, time to move on really. Again, some banging fish, not so many, but you know, a sensibly priced club ticket where you got Spinny, and you got maybe 2 or 3 others. I'm not sure how many. Let's say a bit of an unknown, which I like. I'd rather have a bit of an unknown. I mean, I do know the Spinnaker Lake's got, you know, banging common, some nice upper 30-40 pound mirrors, so that'll do me nice, and just change the scenery really, because before I know it, it'll be, you know, another 10 years on and I'm still at Reading. Not that it matters, but you know, I ain't getting no younger, and at the end of the day, you know, you never know what's around the corner, so I just want to sort of spread my wings a bit really. Steve won't be coming down that way because it's too far out of the way for him, so you know, which is fair enough. Anyway, I'm proper rambling. Oh, mind you, it's only 10 minutes. I'm just trying to find some blog content really. You know, just sort of keep up to date with what I'm doing. You know, people like it, happy days. If they don't, then they don't. Who's that? This one. Yeah, so you know, it's just nice to look back at really, for myself, and if people want to, then happy days. So yeah, that's basically it. That's my plan. I'm on the way out there now. Making slow progress. Road's a bit shit this morning, to be fair. Yeah, so I will keep this updated. got 2 areas in mind when I get up to Whistley. Where I was last week, swim next door, which is the point, which I've had good form in before. I know you shouldn't go preconceived, but you can't ignore what you've had before, you know. But to be fair, that lake, I think most of the swims you got a good chance of catching from, and the fish seem to be on the move, all the time on there. But it's turned very nomadic. It's sort of nighttime, nocturnal, not nomadic. Nocturnal, so all the bites coming at night. Like last weekend, I lost one. I think it was 12:30, and then I had that other one. It wouldn't until about 5:30, but it was still pitch black by then. So yeah, I was well chuffed. I mean, after losing that first fish, I was like, for fuck's sake. Same story as a week before. Yeah, but I got it in closer. I mean, we're only talking like a couple of rod lengths out, proper foggy, misty, I couldn't see jack shit. Stuck my head torch on, made it worse, like driving a car in the fog, with headlights full beam. Yeah, it was a nightmare, but yeah, so unfortunately I lost the first one, couple of rod lengths out. I think the problem is, on there it's weedy, and it's weird because there's always a bit of colour in Whistley. It's not like most of them up there, Mr. Magpie. Yeah, where you can sort of see the weed, whereas on there you can't. It's bizarre. But even in the edge of the pit, it's clear. In the margins, it's clear. But yeah, you just can't see the weed very well at all. So it's a bit of a nightmare. I kept getting wiped out because we had a southeasterly wind, but it was coming through the gap in the island, so it was taking me rods out and my lines out further. Because the water's so shallow. By the time you get out to your rigs, that's when it's dropped off, yeah, a bit of a nightmare scenario really. But so yeah, lost the first one. Obviously the second one was 27.5. Oh, what a stunning fish. And again, another up on my behalf. I've got one of the wireless Bluetooth remotes that links up with my phone to do selfies and all the rest of it with the fish. I had it all set up then, but what I didn't realise until after the footage, I had it in my pocket, which was under my waders. Yeah, which was under me waders. I've got a bloody voicemail. Why does everybody ring you when you're busy? Cough. Yeah, so I had it in my pocket under me waders, and every time I pulled the fish up, obviously I was putting my elbow on it and it's clicking off. And to be honest, I was very lucky to get any pictures whatsoever. Yeah, it was just luck that I noticed, and I managed to yeah, chop a couple of pictures off the video. So yeah, I won't be making that mistake again. In fact, I'm going to get one of the rhino click things. Don't know if many of you have seen them. It's like a ring, put your finger between your thumb and forefinger, and you just press it, piece of cake when you've got fishing around. So I might invest in one of those. We'll see. So anyway, I've now joined the dual carriageway. About to get on the M4 in a minute. So I'll update this when I get up there. Yeah. Right, well we're here at Whistley. We've up to go in the point swim. Like I said, I've had decent form in here in the past. The weather is just bonkers. We're in the ass end of October. It's 18 degrees. I'm in shorts and t-shirt. Even the air temperature is warm. It's just bonkers, mate. Even though it's blowing a southeasterly, it might even be a bit more southwesterly now, but overcast, ain't cold at all. It's just mint. Girls are going bonkers. So yeah, it was a toss up between here and next door. But there's a kiddie opposite next door swim sort of. He's not really interfering, but I just prefer not to be staring at somebody. You know what I mean? Another reason why I've never done linear and all that. I just can't be doing that shit. Yeah, like me in a little bit of space, So yeah, I've opted to go on the point. Pretty straightforward fishing really. There's a gully it runs through, about 18 wraps, nice silk gully. Yeah, so it'll be all 3 rods, proper boilie fishing, got me all new Jag 1 pole, I think it's called, because mine broke last week. And I do like to use a pole, it spreads the boilie better, doesn't it? So yeah, be boilie fishing, obviously, on bottom baits. Yeah, nothing too hard, not really. I've probably got about 3k boilie. Obviously I'm homemade, so they should be going out over the course of the next couple of days. What else? Yeah,
got everything set up here. I think I don't know if I was on the phone to Steve. I was on the phone to Steve at the time. Fucking chunk, about 25 yards, if that, rolled right in front of us. You know, and it's a good fish, you know, proper real old slow roll, like, bloody hell, well, they're here. You know, it's one of the, I ain't the sort of anglers that sort of goes looking as such. I mean, you know, obviously I'll get my gear on the barrow and I'll wander around, you know, and I am looking for fish, but ultimately sometimes you've got to go on your past, you know what I mean? You know, if I've done, say, a couple of sessions in there and I had nothing, then I'd be going elsewhere, obviously. But you know, I've done really well in this swim up till sort of like, I think it was early December. Again, another mild year, and it was just like, do you know what? Just keep doing what you're doing. You know, if it dries up and I ain't catching, then you know it's time to move, isn't it? You know, fair play to the guys that rock up and they do laps and laps and laps, and you know, I get that mentality, but for me, it's just like, nah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe I don't like the walking so much. You know, don't get me wrong, I love walking around the lake and that, but you know, obviously if this was a lot newer place, then I'd probably be doing that. But you know, I just tend to stick with what I know, and if it stops happening, I'll go elsewhere. You know. So yeah. Anyway, that was a little update. I had to stop and have a cup of tea and a couple of sausage rolls and a few dunkers just to yeah, recharge really, because I had nothing to eat today. So yeah, quick cup of tea. About to get the rigs baited up, get them out, and I should be putting some of my little secret ground bait out there over the top with a load of boilies. So yeah, I say a secret, but it's a nice ground bait from AA Bait, so I get my base mix ingredients from. They do a nice little method mix. I love ground bait. I think it's, you know, full of attractors but not a lot of food, so you know, get that boilie in. Hopefully there, yeah, we'll see. Anyway, no cob, no barbecue this weekend, although I could have done with this weather. Yeah, so just gone for a curry and a firecracker chicken wrap. It's nice and easy. So yeah, anyway, I'll leave it there, and let's hope this gets updated with a fish or two without sounding greedy, but it's definitely on, I think. A little look at the swim. This weather is just banging on. It was more into it when I got here, but you know, it just looks puckered, doesn't it? Love it. Bugger. Morning. The old geese departing. Wow. I look like shit. Mainly because I slept like shit, but not down to action. Unfortunately, such a muggy night. Unbelievable for the end of October. Yeah, tossed and turning in a t-shirt and boxers, mate, and it's still too hot. So yeah, bonkers really. Yeah, really quiet night. I think I heard one definite fish. And yeah, no bleeps on the rod, nothing. I mean, I guess it's still sort of bite time now, really. Like I said, everything of late, and even other people that have caught, it's been in hours of darkness. So, you know, sort of midnight onwards. So yeah, first blank night on the bait I think I've had. But you know, it's going to happen at some point, isn't it? You can't always catch. So yeah, I just thought I'd do a little blog entry, if you like. Just made myself a nice fresh coffee. Started pissing down about half hour ago, something like that. So I had to get out and shut all the vents, so it'd be even warmer now. Nice. It's not too bad, but like last night there was just no wind whatsoever. There's a wind on now, but yeah, last night, yeah, bizarre. The most warmest October night I've ever had, I think. But anyway, I'm gonna kick back because it's still early, so I'm gonna drink me coffee, wait to see if anything unfolds, I suppose. Yeah, I'll give him a little bit of bait last night, mostly ground bait, chopped boilie in it, and then I used the little baby spawns, little tiny ones, and they're a pucker for putting out sort of 6 or 7 baits. Yeah, and I was thinking I was have to wind it up to get it out there. I was only fishing like 18 wraps, but you know, it don't weigh nothing. Oh my god, went out there so sweet. It's like, fucking hell. So yeah, that's another thing I'm going to deploy more of, because you say you only get 6 or 7 baits and they're 18 millers. It's perfect.
So yeah, little bit of bait, little bit of ground bait. I've now got people either side of me but opposite. Yeah, and they put a fair bit of bait in, so don't know. But I didn't see any head torches and that going last night. Groggy morning throat. Yeah, I didn't see any head torches going or anything. I didn't hear anything, so I'm assuming nobody else is caught. Well, opposite me anyway, so no doubt I'll find out at some point. But yeah, for now we're blanking. Yeah, not a pucker. I'll update this later. Morning. I'm on my second morning, the last day. Yeah, what can I say? So contrast to the other two sessions, I've blanked my ass off, royally. Yeah, I haven't done anything different. Stuck with areas I know work in the past. Given quite a bit of bait, to be fair. You know, time of year. They're all gonna want to get their heads down, you think, but yeah, I haven't seen nothing. I think I've heard one fish. So yeah, maybe bad angling by my part there. Going with what I know instead of maybe moving yesterday. Don't know. I'd like to think on air, space of 48 hours, are going to come across you at some point, but maybe not, as the case may be. See what someone opposite, which is matey that was there the other week, suicide. He's had nothing that I'm aware of. There's no one else left. I don't think there's actually many on the tool. Let's turn up. They left turn up quite late last night. Not late, but you know, it's darkness. And I think he said there's one in the oak. Yeah, very quiet. It's almost like shut up shop early, you know. Yeah, shitload of rain at 4 o'clock. Last time I checked, we had a 30% chance, 40% chance of rain at like 4 this morning. Yep, I must have been on that 30-40% because it pissed down. I had all my vents open and I just thought, you know what, I can't be arsed to get up and shut them all. So yeah, to be fair, I didn't come off too bad. The kit bag and all that in there was a bit wet, but nothing major. So yeah, I'm on my first coffee. Yeah, nothing else to say really. Like I said, I ain't seen nothing. I had no runs, I've had no bleeps. Only different thing is, I'm on the old captive batlets, just because I think, you know, it's a bit of a ball ache getting them right. You know, it's a bit of messing around when you cast out to get them clipped on and that and in the right position, but I think it's just so much easier if you do get fish. You ain't got a line all up in the water, you know, it's just easier to control them. Yeah, get them to do what you want them to do, so to speak. So yeah, just less chance of disaster. Although I was saying that yesterday. Look at this. Where is it? Up there in that tree. There's now 2 leads. And that one I'm ashamed to say is the bottom one, is mine. Fucking nightmare. Sat here contemplating last evening, do I rechuck them? Should I leave them? And because I'm quite mindful of the bait that I'm using to put together is quite soluble, and yeah, you know, I'm sure it'd be alright on a lake for 48, but I just thought, do you know what, I'm going to redo them. So yeah, first rod was that right hand rod. Can't remember which way I've done it now, but I brought that one in, the middle one in. Basically the sun was setting, I was thinking, right, by the time I sorted those out, attached the rig, wrapped them up, that's trying to be gone enough to cast. Anyway, sure enough it was. And yeah, so that right hand rod, it's 18 wraps, it's not mega distance, but the wind was sort of southeasterly, and it's sort of in here at an angle, sort of coming in like that, if you know what I mean, from left to right. And yeah, I've had to give it a bit, you know, mindful of giving it a bit of a whack because I had a little bag on. So yeah, just to make sure I hit the spot. Anyway, yeah, whacked it out, hit the spot, and the fucking line
and the wind is just taking the line straight up over that branch which is hanging down, which is a pain really. Just that branch there doesn't look too bad here, but because I'm scraping them trees to get that right hand road out, I want to stand over here. Yeah, just a fucking nightmare. Right pissed off about that, to be fair. Yeah, so line took me up in the tree, I could not get out, so subsequently I lost my shit and I had to go for a crack off. Now that line's tough. ESP synchro loaded. Don't rate it as a casting line at all. It's a bit frappy, like through the rings. And I've got 50mm millimeters on white rods, so yeah, not great for casting, but strong as fucking tow rope. So yeah, so I had to piss around just on dark. New leader, new rig, rebait, rewrap, back out. So yeah, in the end I ended up doing the middle and I left to right. Sorry, left to left. That's right. Do you know what? I'm not risking no more fuck ups. Anyway, I don't know. 10-15 minutes later, wind dropped like it is now, which is tit. I was like, yeah, I should have known better. Always the same. Once that sun completely drops, the wind sort of abates for a bit. But anyway, that's nearly 6 minutes of my rambling. So yeah, no fish content this week, I'm afraid. But yeah, I've got next week. Same Thursday, Friday if I want it. I think the weather's looking half decent. Fishy sort of weather, if you like. Excuse me. But then 3 weeks, I'm off somewhere different. I basically got 3 weddings. I got a DJ. One on a Thursday, one on a Saturday, and then the one the following Saturday. And it just lands. Yeah, it's not the one doing Thursday, Friday night on a bank, and then have to go home, you know, hang about all day basically, and then DJ on a Saturday night. Especially if you're catching. Yeah, I can't be doing with the lack of sleep basically, and then have to be on it for the DJing. So yeah, I've done it a couple of times before and it just knackers me out. Getting too old for it now, you know what I mean? So yeah, apologies for the camera work. I don't really concentrate on what I'm doing, so I have to sleep. So yeah, the plan is to go down the carp pond down by me, which is very local. And do a couple of nights down there, probably, you know, 2 or 3 sessions down there, 1 or 2 nights, whatever. Nice and easy, out the back of my car angling. Have a social with my cousin Wayne, probably Jamie. Yeah, happy days, see if we can nick a couple out of there. I've done alright actually last November. I think I had 3 or 4 fish, yeah, 3 fish out of there last November. 3 sessions, 3 fish, so that was good. And then it was kind of like shut up shop before you know it, and it was bloody Christmas, so yeah. Anyway, that is enough of my rambling. So yeah, no fish this week, but next time, learn your lesson, Clarky. Don't expect them to turn up here because they did last year and the year before and stuff like that. Yeah, quite amazed by that really, because it's usually quite, you know, carp a carp, but yeah, there you go. I mean, even the birds are up here, look. All the birds are up here, and they have been for the last 2 days. You've got the ducks and the geese. There's a mega fly hatch as well again last night. All this was alive, absolutely alive, with midges and that coming off. But no fish, they didn't follow it, so yeah, I mean them ducks out there now picking stuff off the top. So it's been a hatch. Maybe it's just preoccupied on natural, I don't know. Anyway, no more excuses. I'm gonna finish my coffee, chill out, let stuff dry out a bit, and then go home. Pucker, but not pucker. Layers.